Hiya, kids and cadets. Welcome back to Tommy Time. Happy Sunday. I hope you've had a nice day today. So, I'm kind of on my second project. The first one was a semi failure. I've been working on yesterday's turds. So, I started messing around this morning with the rusty turd. The 2018 Bolins, thankfully, I was able to get the engine off of that rusted deck. I had brought out the turds yesterday because they were pretty much the whole batch of 5 were turds. So when I had seen this rusted out deck, I thought the engine would be a good replacement for this hyper crap. So the hyper crap engine came off pretty easily. What I discovered with that is, I believe it was the camshaft. I had a little piece of plastic up here on the deck. Maybe I'll show it to you in a minute. But when I poured some of the oil out of it, a little white piece of plastic came out of the crankcase. I believe it was a catastrophic plastic cam gear. So the deal with the 2018 Bolins is I bolted it up to the hyper crap, but the issue is that the shaft isn't long enough. Put the blade on and it's barely clearing the deck. The shaft on this 2022 is a little bit longer than this 450E baby 20 shaft. So I'm at a stalemate here just because this engine's not going to work. The blade is way up here. It should be down a little bit, so I'll have to tag this 2018 for another machine, wait patiently to put something on this Hyper Tough. So I figured I would jump into this yard machine and mess with this one I'm bringing you along. This one had a fuel issue when we looked at it, so we're going to do a carb clean. The other thing I already did last night was adjust the wheels. The wheels were up here at the top hole. I moved them down to the bottom hole, giving me more blade clearance. I changed out the 20-inch blade. This one had a split here on the uplift, so I put a new Oregon blade on it. This side's not compromised. This side is. So you would have had a little bit of an imbalance. So that's that. So let's get to work. We'll remove the tank and the carb recoil first and do a little cleany. Late afternoon, I'm going to do a little 50 plus 9 motivation. Still recuperating from big turd day yesterday. So let's maybe drop this down. I got to get you at a good angle. Put you behind my left shoulder, possibly. So I think I've got everything here to do the job. Got some fresh gas. So totally dead in sales today. Yesterday I had 2 people message me, what's the cheapest mower? And I told them both 140 and up, and they didn't respond. Today, not a single message. Nobody wanted to look at mowers. So the season's pretty much flattened out. We're flatlining right now. Grass just slowed down and growing, but I'm not complaining. I can't do this intensity all year long. I need a break. Yeah, I haven't really stressed it too much this weekend. Yesterday slept in. Today was not a rough day. I think we determined yesterday this thing had been sitting a while. I see a hornet's nest here, so if they had time to build a nest, this thing was sitting. What do you think, Clucky? I think once we clean the carb, we're going to be in good shape with this one. This one was the invisible air filter. So I'll use the same bit. It's an 8mm, which takes off the recoil and also the sheet metal screws here to the outside. So like I said, I went through that Boland's engine, cleaned the carb, the tank, so I just got to mark that one for another project. I'll have to take a look around and see what the decks I have that might work for us. This is 7mm for the screws. Oops, didn't mean to do that. That breather hose was kind of tight. Okay. I'm still going to need that 7 to take off the bowl screws here in a minute. Okay, there we go. I was looking for the O-ring. It had fallen off. Pull back the fuel line clamp. Give this a twist. Let me grab a container, which I have right here. Getting that varnishy. This is the 5-year-old fuel. Boy, that stinks. It stinks terribly. Had that day. Oh, wow. Maple syrup, molasses. Really dark. So we may need the carb spray for the jets on this. Okay, let me let that drain. Let it drip. Take the 2 7s off the bowl. Take my wide Stanley number 20. Kind of wedge it in there and separate the bowl. or just get it started, and then I'll use a small flathead. This is really tight, so that fuel really gummed this thing up. It's all over my hands, which I didn't want. Boy. Main jet's plugged up with some snot. So where's my air gun? So we got that sticky residue that's left behind from varnishy gas. Carb clean will take that off. Let's see, where's the can? I used it yesterday. No, I used ether yesterday. I might have to grab another can. I got a brand new can of nitro. It's missing the little red hose. But do I have an extra one, or steal it off of another can of spray? As always, not prepared. Nope. Nopey. Okay, I'll just use it without it. Let me grab a couple of poking wires while I'm here, because we'll probably need them with that varnish. Okay, so let me get a rag. I'll just do it by hand. One more last look. No, I just have the ether, and that didn't have a red hose. Okay. Okay, that seemed to work by manually cleaning it. Pop off the cartridge. Got more gas on my hand. We'll pop off the center section, and we'll start blasting and poking. Okay, yeah, here we go. Here's that piece of plastic from the oil sump on that E300, the 2022. It's got a little curvature here. This side's rounded. It looks brittle, like the plastic. It's got some stress or dry cracks in it. So what is this? I think it's from the cam. gear. I'm just going to start poking. Kind of poke through the main jet. I got the wire to go all the way through. So I'll spray it with a little carb clean and then blast it with compressed air. It looks pretty good. Okay, I think that's good enough. I want to take the float off and the needle, because if it's this varnishy, the needle might need to be cleaned up. Okay, so the float's filled with old gas, so there's got to be a compromise here. It should be airtight, and I'm missing the little rubber tip. So, two complications to deal with. And the rubber tip is stuck down here. I can feel it. It kind of stuck itself to the seat. It's really gummy, but I kind of broke it loose. There it is. If I can salvage this, it'll be a miracle. I just got to get another float. It seems to be staying in place. Let me clean up the seat really well. Let me blast some carb cleaner down there. I got my finger over the intake fuel line. I'm going to keep that spray in place that I just sprayed in there and just use some Q-tips and get rid of that stuff. Soak up some carb cleaner from down there and do it again. Clean the walls. Clean up that brass seat. I don't feel any roughness along the walls. Seems to be smooth, and I could see some shiny brass down there. You see a little bit of cakiness right here. I'm just gonna rough that up. Yeah, right there. You could see that white cake. I just broke it loose. The rest of the sides look fine. You don't want any contamination here. The needle could ride up and down on this and get caught. There's more in there than I thought. Getting better. Just one little bit of crust there I want to try to break free. Some more spray. Okay, that's that. Let me look for another float. Because that one isn't going to help. Okay, we've got a little cardboard box with some extra carb parts. Some sheet metal screws, some O-rings for the intake tube. Aha. We may be in business. It's a little dirty, but I think this is the one. Yeah, it's got the cutout here. It's got the cutout there. Looking good to me. It's got the part number stamp right there. The 797818. What do we got? This is the 166015A. They may have superseded it. But up here, what do we got? We got the 7. Yeah, that's it. 797-818. Can barely read it, but that's it. Let's see, what is this one? There's 2 numbers. Let's see, the 16601 5A 080B19A. Close enough. Just visually, everything matches. So let's plow ahead. Kind of didn't expect this, but this is all live TV. You never know what you're gonna find. Okay, kind of blasting the new float. Let's put the cartridge back together and just start from ground zero. Okay. Why isn't the cartridge going in? What's stopping me? Oh, the O-ring, or the the O-ring slid down. It came out of its channel. I was wondering why it wouldn't click into place. There we go. I thought, geez, that's never happened before. That carb spray may have expanded the rubber. It'll do that sometimes. So let me try to tuck this in. I guess we'll know in 10 minutes. So that's on. Put the needle on the new float. Get my pin. Use gravity to my advantage. Okay, everything's lined up. Push the pin in. Geez, nothing wants to click. There we go. Okay, it's kind of seems to be working. Blow test. Okay. Put the bowl on. Oh, there it is. Okay, everything on here that needs to go. Yeah, this gasket's going to be a little blown out too. No, we we manipulated it. I'm going to get some big channel locks. I got one side that's high here. I'm just going to take channel locks and kind of help it along. Something like that. I'm still a little lopsided. See if I can coach it just a little bit more. Okay, perfect. That seemed to help. Put a lot of pressure on it. And it brought it down. So if I can salvage this project, because it was kind of half-assed here, I'll be really surprised. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, so where are we at? We were letting the tank dry or drain. Let me just blast some air into this and try to clean it up. Okay, so this one's not going to fool me. I had one that had that very bad old varnishy gas, and it had started to deteriorate the hose. So I just put pressure on it, and I was feeling for any air coming through, and it's blocked. You can block me once, but not twice. So I've got some tanks around. Probably I can grab another hose, but that's completely blocked. Let's see, I'll put a little air here. Nothing's coming out. Nothing's coming out. So this is what ethanol fuel will do. It causes problems with rubber. See all that right there? Melted rubber. That'll ruin your day. So what I can do is just snatch one off of this 2018 machine. Since the tank's on the high side over here, I'll just grab it and switch it out. I could probably keep reaming this one till it's free and clear. But we'll do this. We'll steal it off of this one. Doesn't really matter. I should probably steal it off of the 2022. Since this engine's toast anyway, I might as well steal the hose off of it, because I won't be able to do anything with it unless I put another camshaft in it. So we'll steal it off of the engine with the catastrophic damage. Okay, so here we go. So when you're dealing with that kind of varnishy gas, you're going to have to do some extra work. Really go through the carburetor, and then your rubber hose here is going to harden up. Okay, now we can go to town, so to speak. Okay, we'll kind of put the tank up there. So we need the O-ring, the keeper that clicks in. We're tight here. Put my linkage Z-bend into the hole. Get the carb started. I just start the tank in the slot, then get the fuel line started, then push the tank all the way down, then push the hose all the way on. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Hose clamp. Okay, so that's on. Let's keep busting through this thing. Oh, got my oil can. I'm gonna oil up the recoil. So I look for the spring here. Here's the bend in the spring. So I'm gonna just fill that little gap with oil, coat the metal spring, and then maybe a little bit on the pawls. Just keep that spring from getting rusty. Okay. So that goes down. Let's put the backing plate on first. Give us some room to work with. We'll do the recoil last. So let me blast this with some air. It's kind of dirty. If you weren't here, I would wash this off, let it dry. Okay, start with the two center screw 7s. I take my 7 bit out, put the 8 on. I'm going to go to the sheet metals. And I'm going to have a drink of motivation and keep going. Okay, everything looks good. What did I do with the motivation? Oh, there it is. I got to walk to get it. Okay, time for the recoil. Since the 8mm bit's still on the DeWalt, I just grab that and continue on. Then we'll put it down on the ground. Put some Wawa non-ethanol or recreational fuel, it's also called. I already know it's got oil. I looked at the oil yesterday and I checked it again. Okay. This is raunchy. Let me blast this off. So do you think the initial failure with this thing was the float? If it's weighted down like that, it's not going to function. It would just keep filling. The weight of it. Like I said, normally I would clean all this up prior to going this far. But I don't have that luxury since you're looking over my shoulder. Okay, let's fuel it. That should be enough. So one project's got to go right for me today. I hope this is it. Okay, let's drop it to the ground, start it. We're already at 45 minutes. That unexpected delay hampered my quick and efficient video. Okay. Let me roll it off. Okay, I'll prime it. Yeah, there's enough down there covering the bottom. We can try it. Plug wires on. Okay, let me get back here and do a little pulley. One, two. Okay, I can start my work week on a happy note. This thing started. Long video, sorry it dragged on as long as it did. But like I said, this is live TV. You guys have a good day. Please tip your waitress and wait staff. Adios, amigos.